Picture this. Feeling scattered, surrounded by a sea of sticky notes. You ask a friend to remind you to do that one important thing. But when they actually do, you find yourself saying, well, not now, I'm busy. Suddenly you're both caught in this cycle of frustration and resentment, each waiting for the other to make the next move. So what's going on here? Welcome to the Rhythms of Focus podcast for wandering minds who are tired of feeling that they have to force themselves to make things happen. Maybe know that when things line up well, that tendency to wander actually becomes a powerful wave of focus. I'm Dr. Kourosh Dini, fellow wandering mind. It wasn't that long ago that I struggled to make things happen, whether it was to remember when to pay a bill, do things over time, or look at a list without feeling repulsed. Fast forward through years of study and practice, I can now not only deal with the world, I can be creative, playful, and engage in the ways that make sense to me. I can be a doctor, musician, father, still play games in the evenings. I've created this podcast to share these ideas so you can do the same, hopefully with a lot less of the troubles I needed to go through to get here. Whether you have ADHD, deal with anxiety, or just suffer from a powerfully creative spirit, I invite you to join me in this weekly podcast to start finding your own way to a calmer, more intuitive space. Please note, I'm not functioning as your doctor, psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, therapist, or otherwise. This is here for education, if not entertainment, and I do hope you enjoy it. Hey, can you remind me to do that thing? Trying to do the dishes, getting the report done, making that important call. It can all feel like some Sisyphean task. Seeing the world around us full of incomplete projects, scribbles on the calendar, post-it notes all trying to yell past each other as they turn to some vague yellow sea. It's a rare thing for those stars to align, but when they do, you're in it. Well, that is, until you're either done or exhausted. And either way, chaos returns as inevitable as it is in our world. So you might reason, you know what? If something's important enough, it'll find me. But when those things arrive, we still not only have some sense of inability, we have that injured sense of agency described in episode 9. When the important thing shows up, unless it's shiny or on fire, some part of us might just refuse, lay down and say, no, I don't wanna, I can't be bothered, many other possibilities. But then we can have this idea. What if I ask someone to help me? A friend, a loved one. Hey, can you remind me about whatever it is? But then when it comes time for that someone else to say, hey, what if you do that thing now? We might just say, well, not now, I'm busy. Or I'll get to it. Something in us just isn't quite feeling it. What happens here, though, is that we've just thrown the ball back at the other person who now continues to hold the task. Both you and they have now colluded to create a taskmaster. Worst yet, this new taskmaster is now in a position of having to read our mind better than we even know it ourselves. They have to target this often impossible place where we'd feel like it, where our own conscious and unconscious worlds and stars would align in ways that we ourselves don't even know. These positions create resentment, both in ourselves as we begin to feel them as harassing us, and in them who feel that they have to harass us. Whether boss, spouse, parent, child, friend, or otherwise, any relationship. This can happen, sadly, often in our most vital relationships. This resentment can build. And importantly, resentment's a particularly insidious emotion. Much of it is unconscious. We may try to suppress it, because after all, they often love, care for, feel dependent on us or us on them. How is it that I can feel so angry? How is it they can feel so angry with me? I shouldn't feel this way. Well, making these arguments, how often has that strategy of arguing with these emotions ever worked for you? The benefit of a visit-based approach, as I've gotten into in episode 4, is that we don't need to feel like it to be there. We can simply be at the materials, be at the place. It's in our being there, let's say at the dishes, where we might decide to nudge something forward. We might nudge another one forward and get on a roll perhaps, or maybe we stop. And then if we're not done, We can always create this invite for ourselves for another future visit where we would make the same attempt. By making a visit, we begin to create the very conditions we need for those stars to align. As you improve your abilities to take greater and greater charge of your calendar, your tasks, and yourself, you remove these seen and sometimes unseen burdens on your relationships. And what can that do other than improve those relationships? Untangling these enmeshments are by no means easy. That can only happen as we learn how we can trust ourselves, a genuine trust. How can we develop the relationships between our past, present, and future selves, often embodied in these markings on the calendar, in our tasks, and in the reminders we create for ourselves? Can we rely on our future selves when we send them a message? But as these relationships rely on trust, they take time to be nurtured into some strength. There are many skills we can practice, and it can be overwhelming to think of practicing them. But I do find that things tend to go well when we start small. So as a takeaway, if this seems to be a problem that you tend to get yourself into, maybe consider one small thing that you've somehow offloaded to someone else, and consider, is there a way to bring that back to you? Something that you can do to remind yourself. When that reminder comes then, can you honor that past self that created that reminder by showing up to the thing, showing up to the materials, showing up to the phone call, whatever it happens to be, being there, and then deciding whatever it is you decide to do, respecting the present self that's there. Piano has been a companion of mine for years now, and much like any relationship, I develop a sort of shorthand. Things said get compressed, and more is said in smaller tones, words, phrases. Some of these pieces have developed almost an impressionistic vibe, like paintings that come together as a series of dots. The notes themselves don't seem to matter quite so much as what they carry together. This piece is called Wooded Hills, and it's written in D minor for the most part. There are some moments where what would normally be B flat becomes a B major, throwing things off a little, I suppose. Or maybe that's just me who hears it that way. In any case, I hope you enjoy it. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, kindly subscribe, rate, review with whatever app you're using. If you're on the Apples, press the Apple buttons. If you're on the Spotifys, press the spots. If you're on the YouTubes, press those things, whatever the things. And if you're feeling especially generous, consider leaving a review. Maybe mention your favorite piano piece or just say hi. Your support helps more wandering minds find this podcast.